Right, everybody, welcome back to your latest news. We'll be talking about the Morgan Rogers deal heating up. We've also got an update on the managerial situation. We'll be talking Elliot Anderson and much more. But the first thing we're going to talk about is Morgan Rogers deal heating up. Now, this is what's come out. It was a big story. There's also some stuff on Lewis Skelly, which we'll talk about. It's a big story that come out from the Times, who are pretty reliable. And this is what they said on the Morgan Rogers stuff. Morgan Rogers is likely to be a centre of a transfer tug-of-war this summer after Manchester United, Arsenal, Chelsea renewed their interest. Aston Villa valuation is likely to exceed 80 million. Rogers is open to leaving Villa. He's wanted by United. What I would say about Morgan Rogers is he's a very, very good player. And if Bruno Fernandes was to leave, he would be my ideal replacement. I think it's between him and Cole Palmer, but I think Morgan Rogers just has that upper echelon quality for me. Not saying Cole Palmer's a bad player, and also he's a United fan as well. But he's 23 years of age. Obviously, he plays for Aston Villa in the Premier League. He has a contract until 2031. So again, it's not going to be an easy deal to do. But in terms of quality of player, attacking midfielder, has played right wing, left wing for Villa this season, and his performances have been fantastic. You look at his performance against Manchester United, not at Old Trafford, but at Villa Park, where he was absolutely fantastic, scored 2 great goals, and he's had many performances like that this season. He's got 13 goal contributions. He started every single game for Aston Villa in the Premier League, regularly plays 90 minutes, and yeah, for me, he's a very, very good profile. I think if you look at ball carrying ability, Premier League experience, European experience, age, it's all on United's side, and I think he's someone who, again, as I said, if Bruno Fernandes is to leave, he'd be someone I'd definitely consider bringing in at that number 10 replacement. I think he has everything that United could possibly want in a number 10. He's a modern day player, but again, he's going to cost you a lot of money. I don't think that's something, an avenue that United will explore this season unless Bruno Fernandes leaves. However, again, we don't know what's going to happen with Bruno. We're all hopeful that he's going to stay, but there has been nothing confirmed or guaranteed that he is going to stay at the moment. So talking about Bruno leaving, or Morgan Rogers joining, will have to be dependent on whether Bruno Fernandes leaves, which again, hopefully doesn't happen. I think soon as Bruno leaves though, you'll get the strings going on a Morgan Rogers potential deal. It's a new target for Manchester United. I don't think it's a deal that we're going to pursue this summer, but it's definitely one that we can look at if Bruno Fernandes leaves. Now, Ben Jacobs has come up with some big updates. He did an interview today on United Stand, and this is some of the things that he said. No club-to-club negotiations have taken place with either Man City or Man United and Nottingham Forest over Elliot Anderson. Both clubs want to get the deal done before the World Cup in case of a rise in price. Marinakis doesn't mind waiting to see if Forest win the Europa League and enter the Champions League, in which case he would want to keep the player. I wouldn't read into the media narrative too much that Manchester United haven't spoken to the camp of Elliot Anderson. It's not that Tonali is unlikely, it's that he's unlikely if Manchester United can get Anderson. He's a bit older than Anderson and he's viewed as less value for money. And Bruno Guimaraes' age is one of the key factor working against the player, and in addition to that, the valuation of Newcastle is still high. United had a meeting with the camp of Bruno G, but it hasn't led to anything else in terms of suggestions that they're going to enter the race. Now, in terms of other midfielders, Tonali possible but expensive. Anderson ahead of him. Adam Wharton very similar to Kobbie Mainoo. When they get that first midfielder, it will inform what decision they go with as far as the second one. A player like Matheus Fernandes at West Ham is definitely being discussed. In the past, they've looked at short-term options like Ruben Neves, but that was something more short-term and opportunism, so he's not on the list. João Gomez was discussed in January as well. With Baleba, it's more 50-50 now. Whether Manchester United will follow up with the Baleba interest from the summer, we'll have to wait and see. The club like the player's mobility, energy and potential chemistry with Mainoo, and haven't been put off by the season that he's having with no price will be known at this time. The media updates for Baleba transfer have gone quiet because United already did the legwork, the only part of the saga that could develop if Manchester United went to Brighton in a formal sense. If we learn definitively that Manchester United can't get Anderson, I don't want to bid as big for Tonali, then Baleba could suddenly appear in late April or as early as May as a more marketable opportunity. Stiller is still on the midfield club target, but it's looking more likely the club will go with Premier League proven. Stuttgart still have the option to override the player's release clause. So big updates there on all the midfielders. Listen, we know Anderson is the main one. Wharton, I think he's someone that United want, but again, the concern is he does have a very similar profile to Mainoo, and that's what I would say while you would steer away from Wharton. I think Belaber is definitely a priority in terms of if we can't get Anderson, but I think we will get him anyway. But I mean, the midfield situation is going to be massive. There's no real major update there. It's just kind of what we know already. United are in for midfielders. Tonali is someone that they appreciate, but it's not the first choice. They view him as a cheaper option for Anderson. Anderson is the one that they're going for. But again, we know there's going to be a lot of competition. City, if they win the Premier League, they've already won the Carabao Cup. They have a very good chance of winning the FA Cup. And already they are in a better position than Manchester United. So that's why he could very well potentially go there. I think if we're looking at Anderson as a profile, he's got everything that you want, and it's going to be down to Manchester United to get that deal done. And I think Anderson's probably waiting to see if Manchester United do get Champions League, which does make sense from him. I think he needs to know where he's playing next season, and how well that he's doing that in order for him to get the best out of him. He's not going to come to United if we don't finish in the Champions League. Potentially in the Europa League. So yeah, I think that's going to be key in securing those top level players. I think bringing them in is going to be what United need. Premier League experience is vital, but Champions League is key, and we've got 7 games left to go to do that. With obviously United being back in action on Monday finally after like 3 weeks it would have been. Now in terms of centre back, Manchester United are alert to the situation regarding Slotterbeck. And the situation, but it depends on whether he signed a new contract. It's unclear whether the players' camp is using other clubs as leverage for a new deal or whether there's genuine interest. If there is, he could genuinely be a possibility. On whether new centre-back come in, it's not really about Maguire staying ultimately there. I think I'll talk about Maguire because he did an interview and there were some big quotes in there. I think if we're looking at the centre-back situation, we definitely do need one, in my opinion. You can't rely on Martinez. The lip, again, is up and down. We don't know what the sort of consequence of his back injury is going to be. And I think we do need to bring in someone. Now, Slotterbeck, he's a decent option. But, again, I don't think he'd be a priority this summer. My ideal centre-back choice would be someone in the Premier League like a Murillo. I think he's very, very good and someone that I would bring in if we are going to go get a centre-back. Now, in terms of the managerial situation, behind the scenes, there's a lot going on. That hasn't made the media because United want to try and keep a lid on things. The last thing Manchester United want to do, and it's logical and smart to me, is run a very public process where they're interviewing Nagelsmann, Iraola, or having a meeting with Enrique, because that could also be demoralising to Carrick. It doesn't mean that conversation is not taking place with other candidates. Listen, I think Manchester United are definitely on the search for a new manager. All the sort of interview processes will be going on now, and I think we definitely do. I still haven't made my mind up on Carrick. I think come to the end of the season, I will make the decision then. I think we've still got 7 big games left, but the signs there are all leading to Michael Carrick joining permanently at the moment. I think United have a big decision to make. Whether that's the right decision or wrong decision being made, we'll have to wait and see. But hopefully Carrick is the guy. If he is, we back him all the way. If he isn't, hopefully the manager that we bring in will be someone who, again, is just important for Manchester United and is the right guy, more importantly. Someone who gets the balance as well. So the search has been going on, whether that's Nagelsmann, Enrique, Carrick, Iraola, someone else. We'll just wait and see what happens. Now, Lewis Skelly. At present, Arsenal will listen to offers for Lewis Skelly. Academy players can be counted pure profit in their council would provide the biggest transfer boost. Now listen, these Lewis Skelly talks are not going away. Manchester United definitely do have interest in him. I think he's someone who, for me, is a very good player. He's got a lot of potential. Hasn't played as much as he'd want this season. I watched him briefly against Southampton. I thought he was all right. I think there is a talented player there. I think if you're looking at experience, Premier League, Champions League, has played in big games for Arsenal. I think that sort of transition wouldn't be the worst thing there. I think left back is a position that we need. Is it going to be one that we go and get in the summer? Potentially. Lewis Skelly, Arsenal are not going to let him go for cheap, so that's going to be something United have to consider. So yeah, that's the latest on Skelly. He could potentially be on his way to United. Nothing really concrete in it, but talks are definitely still going on. Now, Maguire, he talked about the managerial situation. He talked about how sort of United's been too big for some players. He talked about big summer needed in the transfer market. I thought this was interesting what he said. This summer's going to be big. We've actually got to recruit really well. Obviously, there's a big manager decision as well, but it's about bringing players in. We need more players, better quality. We need players to come into the starting 11. And then when everything comes together, we'll see where it is start of the season. Now, Maguire's obviously staying at the club. I think the new contract's deserved. We talked about that. But the big thing, we need more players in the starting 11. Now, if we look at the United team, obviously Dream 11's going into next season is going to be different. But right now, I think Le Mans is obviously he's set in stone. I think left back, we definitely do need improvement. I think Dalot will be the right back next season, if we're being honest. Centre backs, I think it will be more of the same. I don't think we will bring in anyone. So whether that's De Ligt, Martinez, Maguire, Euro, Heaven, pick your two really. Midfield, I think obviously it's going to be key. Ugarte is going to go, Casemiro is going to go. You bring in, I think it'd be Anderson, Baleba, and potentially a João Gomez. And then attack, you get rid of Sancho, you get rid of Rashford, you get rid of Højlund, potentially bring in an Ndiaye, a Leao, any other left attacker. I think that's really be it. But the 11 so far, it looks pretty strong. It'd be my dream 11 for next season. I know it's very early, but it'd be Le Mans. Left back, it would be Lewis Hall, but if not, probably would be then Lewis Skelly. I mean, there's not really many other left backs United have been linked to. Centre backs would be De Ligt, Martinez, but I do think Euro, Heaven, and Maguire will all play a big part. Right back would be Dalot. Not my dream, but realistic as well. Midfield would be Mainu, Anderson, Bruno, and Burmo, Cunha, Sesko. That would be my team. But yeah, that's been your update. Some big quotes there. Let me know your thoughts.